Buckle your seatbelts, listeners, because we are about to race to the front of the line with an exclusive spoiler-free review on F1, the movie. Let's go.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kurt.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to Popcorn for Breakfast. We have got an exclusive interview with Cam.
It is exclusive because it's an interview with me. I'll give you that one. That's good. That's good. We're improving.
Thank you. We got an early look and access to the movie F1, the movie
F1, the movie from the Department of Redundancy Department. I love it.
From the movie studio, the movies. I think that this is such a fascinating thing to make into a movie. I'm going to say film because I'm tired of the M word now. I think it's a fascinating thing to make into a film because I'm not a big fan of, or it doesn't really pique my interest, racing. Do you watch a lot of racing, Cam?
I don't. But F1 is sweeping the United States over the last few years. They've got a big race that happens in Las Vegas now, and they've had a few other races. It's definitely raised. It's increasing in popularity due largely to that Netflix series, The Drive to Survive, or I always get the title wrong. I can't remember, but there was a Netflix series that was like Formula One. It was a reality show, and it was like showing what was actually happening during the season. It's a lot like Hard Knocks for football. But it was for F1. And so a lot of people really got into it. There's some great personalities. These guys are super duper cocky, because they're competing at a high level. And so you get a lot of that great arrogance and ego and kind of like all the things that make it interesting to get into.
Yeah. I love arrogant people. I
love people with that like Kobe Bryant, like mentality, Michael Jordan mentality, where they just like want to win. Mm-hmm. They're like psychos about it. They're like sick. There's something about that. And there's a few guys in F1, Max Verstappen is the guy who's like the best F1 racer right now. And he's got a lot of that in him. And Lewis Hamilton, both of whom Lewis Hamilton appears in this movie, was an executive producer on this movie. He's like one of the most famous F1 drivers ever, certainly in the modern era. And Max Verstappen is, I don't know if he's in it because I don't know what he looks like. Okay. I'm not a fan, but he's mentioned. But one thing I want to call out about this movie that makes it interesting, I love the subtitle of the movie, F1 the movie. That rules. That is like so 80s, 90s coded, and I'm so here for it. I'm like, let's go. Like Transformers, the movie. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie. What were some? Hey Arnold, the movie. Like Pokemon, the movie 2000. Like there were so many, and I know that was like, Y2K era, but really from like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we got a lot of films that were like this thing, the movie.
Now Rugrats, the movie.
Yeah. Or was it the Rugrats movie?
Doug, the movie. Or the Doug movie.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, there were. No, I think it was Doug, the movie.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll have to fact check it. There were a bunch is what I'm trying to say. And it rocks. It's kind of corny, but in a really fun way. I want to bring it back. F1's bringing it back. I think we just go headlong from here on out. We just bring it back.
So crazy. What's always funny to me is how much you know about every single sport on earth. Like I could tell you the most absurd. Like if I told you about chess, I'm sure you could tell me the top like 4 chess people right now.
I couldn't, but I do know Magnus Carlsen, who's like a big chess prodigy. He just lost like a really big chess match, and it went viral.
I did see his viral video.
Yeah. See, it just here's what you're mistaking. You're mistaking actual useful information for just the symptoms and side effects of being chronically online all the time. That's the issue. Is like I don't know that much about things, but I am like horribly addicted to the internet. So
yeah. But your not obsession, but your habit is to collect all the information. Whereas like I could tell you,
I think obsession might be the apt word actually.
Like I could tell you the female winning artist of the Jimmy Awards in High School Musical Theater because I just watched it, but I can't tell you 9 other sections of things. So you're a hobby and a hobbyist collector, an information collector, and that's why I think it was best for you to see this movie because
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like it turns out. I was telling my dad. I took my dad. Feels like
Yeah.
a dad movie. Even though my dad's like not that guy, like not the car guy, and I love him for that. Like I love his brand of dadding. I think it's the best. But yeah, it was just funny. It was like dudes car movie, let's get after it. But yeah, I was like, I know just enough about F1 to be like somewhat informed about this.
Yeah.
Informed enough to like actually be interested. So yeah, let's get into it. It's a interesting one.
5 awards we're going to talk about tonight, and the Oscar goes to Best Actor, Scene Stealer, Best Supporting Actor, followed by Showstopper. What was the biggest moment or theme throughout the movie that stopped you in your tracks, Cam? How about next we'll follow up with Director's Shoes. We're going to talk about what you would have fixed with this film, and Last Looks, we're going to put it with a little tiny bow and send it on its way down the track with your score. So tell me, from
And
the
all
top,
spoiler free.
you want to do spoiler free?
Yeah, it's all spoiler free.
Of course it
All
is.
spoiler free. All spoiler free.
Very rarely do we spoil things for you, and we would never want to do that for something with Brad Pitt. That's just a rule. Like, we're never going to spoil a Brad Pitt movie.
I don't want to cross him.
No.
He's very cool. He's intimidatingly cool.
Yeah, he's super cool.
His haircut. Whenever I started seeing the trailers for this movie, and he's wearing like the F1 uniform, and he's got his hair, I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah, if there's two people that you can always follow for haircuts, it's Justin Timberlake and Brad Pitt.
That's true.
Men's hair trendsetters, and David Beckham. Those are the three. Just
Tale
always
as old as time.
look at those three.
I had a hairdresser actually like laugh at me one time for bringing in a Brad Pitt.
What?
I was like, hey, I want my hair to look like this. They're like, you want to look like Brad Pitt? I was like, well, no.
Excuse me?
I was like, well, you know, his hair.
Well, yes, and I
It's
would
like,
love to.
I mean,
like
are
it.
you able to do that? Because like, let's hook it up. You need to age me a few years. Like, I'll take it. I don't care. I'll do whatever it takes. But,
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty brutal. But
Rude.
It was rude, but the point stands. His hair is phenomenal. So
Tell me who you've got, and the Oscar goes to. I have a feeling I know who it is.
it's not Brad Pitt.
Whoa!
It's not. It's actually not Brad Pitt, which is surprising. I'll explain that later. I really will.
Okay.
Because I think people are going to be like, huh? It's like the Brad Pitt show. I'm going with an up-and-coming actor named Damson Idris, who plays JP in this movie. His
JP Morgan.
His character's name is Joshua Pierce, and Brad Pitt's character Sonny Hayes, which is kind of a hilarious, like almost like a Western type name, like an old spaghetti Western type cowboy name. Anyway, Sonny Hayes always calls him JP, and he hates it. That's like part of their banter, their back and forth.
Is he another racer?
He is.
Okay, cool.
He is so this is like one of those cliches where it's like the old grizzled veteran and the rookie. You know, you see it in cop movies. You see it in
Cars.
Literally Cars. This movie is actually more similar to Cars than you might think.
Oh,
but it's yeah. So he fills in that like hot shot, really talented, up and coming, got an attitude, got a chip on his shoulder, super ambitious kind of role. And I really like him. I really like Damson Idris. He brings a ton of charisma. He brings a ton of really good acting tricks and tons of little character quirks he was able to imbue his character with. And I was really impressed. He really doesn't have that many credits yet. He's very young. I know that he was in that show Swarm with Dominique Thorne that I never got to check out, but it just is top of mind because Ironheart premiered today with Dominique Thorne.
Oh, cool.
And he's been in a few other things, but this is his first really big major role. And he's been in some television shows that I just have not watched, most of his big roles, but really like him. I feel like this could be like a moment in time where you remember how like Chris Hemsworth started showing up in movies, and it was like, you know, first there was the Star Trek thing, and then all of a sudden I feel like this could almost be one where we look back and it's like, oh, he was in that. Like that was the thing that started. Like I feel like this could be it for him.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed. So Damson Idris, a name to watch.
I love that. He was in a show called, according to my, that's me typing.
Very loud.
To a little show called Snowfall on maybe that was on FX, I think, something like that. That was kind of a
he had another
thing.
one. What was his other big claim to fame?
Well,
there
from what I see, that's probably the biggest one.
Okay.
Snowfall, and he was in an episode of Swarm. This is his debut,
you know what I'm thinking of now that I look at his IMDb is that terrible Anthony Mackie movie that we reviewed. Outside the Wire. Do you remember that? It was like a COVID era movie.
Oh goodness gracious!
I don't remember him in that movie at all.
That was awful. One of
That
the
movie
worst things I've ever
sucked.
seen in my life. Yes, there it is, 2021, Outside the Wire. What a garbage movie.
I couldn't even place him in that movie if I tried, but he was in that. So
two more things, and then we'll go to our other awards. Is that he is going to be playing Miles Davis in a movie.
I love that.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Yeah.
And then a movie called Children of Blood and Bone, which that sounds like it's a book series.
It's based off a really popular book series.
Okay.
Which I thought that was stuck in like production limbo for a zillion years.
Well, and this is confusing because this kid's name is Damson
Idris.
Damson Idris, and in this movie is also going to be starring Idris Elba. I can't.
It's like one of those chain reaction things. It's like Damson Idris Elba.
That's insane.
But I like him as Miles Davis. That's cool because he's really got like he's got this amazing gazillion-dollar smile and tons of charisma. I think that's going to suit him very well.
Yeah, so that'll be really fun. Let's move on to our next category, which happens to be Scene Stealer. We'll see if Brad Pitt is the best supporting actor. What do you say?
No.
Ooh,
He's not. And again, this is not a slight on Brad Pitt. I will explain myself. I will answer for my crimes at some point during this episode. I'm actually going with, I'm still making up my mind as I decide. I'm between two, but I think I'm going to go with Carrie Condon.
Okay.
Who I know you are a huge fan. Academy Award nominee Carrie Condon, I can say now, ever since Banshees of Inisherin, for which she was very deservedly nominated. She's a phenomenal actor, a little bit of a later bloomer in her career, but she's been around. She's had a lot of good roles. She's fantastic. I think she's really talented, and she is really one of the emotional focal points in this movie. She is her character's name is Kate. She is like the first female technical lead on
Pit crew or something
on an F1 team.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like her thing, and she's got a cool character history that I won't get into. Really well written character, and she like uses that to every bit of her advantage, and brings a ton of cool little quirks and nuances to this character. And she and Brad Pitt are excellent scene partners together. They go together really well. There's also, as you can kind of tell from the trailer, like a love interest type thing that occurs between them. And it all feels very authentic. It all feels very good. I think Carrie Condon is awesome. And I loved her in this.
And she's Irish.
Bonus points for that.
She's great. If you haven't told, I am the Irish side of this table over here with this red beard. And Cameron is everything better in this world.
I'm everything regular. I don't know what I am. I know I have lots of Lithuanian in my heritage. So shout out Lithuania.
That's right. Go ahead and say something in Lithuanian right now.
I got nothing. It's probably just going to be like names of foods because that's all I've ever heard.
You should have just said a series of Lithuanian foods.
But can I explain myself on Brad Pitt?
I don't know. Can you tell us, Cam?
Listen, put down your torches and pitchforks, everyone. No, like seriously, I don't think that Brad Pitt was bad in this movie. I think that he's just, first of all, the screenplay struggles on the dialogue front at times. And I was just getting a lot of Billy Bean, Brad Pitt from Moneyball in this movie. And it could be because I've seen Moneyball 500 times. It's one of my favorite movies ever. But it's just like there were a lot of times where when the emotional dynamic got ratcheted up, he didn't go all the way there and didn't commit as far as I'd like him to. And just, I don't know. A lot of it too was the dialogue, and the line he's having to deliver with intensity was not a well-written line. So yeah, I just didn't think it was his best work, but I don't think it's bad work by any means. I just think he's not the standout here. For me, it was Damson Idris.
Yeah.
And even honestly, the other person I was deciding between was Javier Bardem, which we've talked about a lot. He takes a lot of roles. He likes the money. He likes to work, and that is fantastic. He is unbelievably talented, obviously. Multi-time Academy Award nominee.
One of the best Bond villains we've ever seen.
Yeah, incredible actor. But, he does sometimes with these movies that are like paycheck roles, he'll phone it in a little bit. He did not here. He was really good. So
no Little Mermaid performance in this one?
No, thank God.
Oh, goodness. Well, I guess we'll forgive you for the time being, and maybe you can help us distract and forget about how you didn't pick Brad Pitt for for a movie that has his face all over it.
It does.
Let's talk about your showstopper for F1, the movie.
Yeah, so I think the big talk going into this movie was, well, there was a lot. There's a lot of storylines around this movie, but one of them is obviously Joseph Kosinski, who is the director of Top Gun Maverick, being at the helm. And when you look at that, it's not hard to see why they kind of made that connection. So first of all, like you've got Jerry Bruckheimer as the production company here. Same thing with the Top Gun series. Same writer as Top Gun Maverick as well, Aaron Kruger, who's written a ton of screenplays, done a ton of work. And then you've got the obvious element, which is that this deals with fast moving vehicles, and it's going to be very difficult to shoot. And that's something that Joseph Kosinski, who has a very, very limited filmography. He's only directed 6 feature films. He's got a few more on the way.
Wow.
I've seen 4 of them, which being Tron Legacy, Spiderhead, Top Gun Maverick, and this one.
Oh, I've seen all those too.
Yeah.
What are my other 2 I'm missing?
Have you seen Oblivion? He directed Oblivion.
No, but I watched it a long time ago and I don't remember any of it. So it's actually on my watch list. It's streaming somewhere right now. So
And
what's
then
the other one?
The other one is like, I forget what it's called.
Only the Brave?
Only the Brave.
Okay.
Yeah.
With Josh Brolin, it looks like. Yeah. Okay.
Looks like I'm not actually familiar with that film.
And Miles Teller. Wow, that's a pretty good cast. Jennifer Connelly, Jeff Bridges. Well, I've got to watch this immediately.
Yeah, it sounds right up your alley. So yeah, I mean the similarities in you have to film real vehicles doing really fast things. It's difficult to do. And that's why he was brought in. And that's actually my showstopper is the racing scenes themselves are phenomenal. And that feels like you're going to be like, that's unbelievably low hanging fruit. Of course, the racing scenes are phenomenal, but that is the movie to me. Like that is why you pay the price of admission for a movie called F1, the movie, is to see amazing racing scenes. And while they're not like the sauciest cinematically in terms of like artistic shots and things like that, the camera rigs are really impressive. The editing's really impressive. They do a lot of swinging the camera. They've got cameras all over the car. They had to build a lot of custom rigs to support this. Apple actually, so Apple owns the distribution rights for this film, and Warner Brothers is doing all the theatrical distribution and things like that because that's not really Apple's forte. So they sold them those rights, but Apple's doing all the streaming and things like that, and they did a lot on the production side. They created an iPhone-inspired camera rig for this that takes advantage of their M whatever number chip to shoot these high-speed things. And so you get a lot of really, really cool high-tech shots that just makes you feel like, okay, this is really cool. It's really high octane. So, I mean, if you get to see it in IMAX, if you get to see it in any sort of large format, premium format, I highly recommend it. It's also got a Hans Zimmer score, which I had no idea coming in, and a really good soundtrack full of like bespoke music that was created specifically for this film.
And do they play Shut Up and Drive from Cars? Shut Up and Drive.
They don't.
Drive.
They don't. But they start with the Led Zeppelin song is the first song that plays. I think it's Dazed and Confused, if I can remember correctly. Oh man, it's so great. As soon as it came on, I was like, let's go. So yeah, there's Shut Up and Drive. That's not in Cars?
Is it not in Cars?
Oh, it's in Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh, that's right. It's Penelope. She's racing on the sugar track. That's right. Sugar Rush track.
So yeah, you've got a really good soundtrack, a really good score from Hans Zimmer, which is like very like tech heavy. Like it sounds, it's very thumpy, futuristic sounding, which is kind of different for his vibe.
Yeah.
It all works. All the racing scenes work because of that cinematography, because of the music. Those two things specifically come together to make some really, really cool scenes.
I might just extend my Apple TV Plus subscription because of this. I might sit with a racing helmet in my living room and play it at full blast.
It.
And you know what? I'll put my AirPods in and I'll link it to my Apple TV. And so it'll be like surround sound inside of my helmet. It's gonna be a great time.
After you see it in theaters, of course. Obviously.
After I see it in theaters. I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do both. When I go to the theater, I'm gonna dress in a full racing kit. Just like top to bottom boots. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to spend $7,000 on it, and I'm going to be the slickest guy in that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Thank you. Let's move on to director's shoes. What would you change about this movie, Cam?
Ironically, it's a racing movie. It's slow. Its pacing is slow. It's which is crazy. So let me explain myself here, because I just said that the racing scenes were incredible, thumping all of the right things. It's the in-betweens that are really bogged down. First of all, this movie is a 2.5-hour runtime. Too long. It's too long for a racing movie. I'm sorry. And I'm looking at you, Ron Howard, Rush.
Indeed.
This is
Dude.
and Hans Zimmer did the score for that movie too. So I don't know what the connection is here. I need to do like one of those webs on the wall to like dissect what is causing this problem.
Yeah.
But 2.5 hours is too long for a racing movie, period. And people would be like, well, I mean, you never like, trust me, it's too long for a racing movie. The stakes are not that high. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas like Top Gun Maverick is a bit longer movie.
Well, yeah, it's international warfare.
Right. With real people. Like, yes, you can die in a car wreck, but you're not like fighting actual enemies. You know what I mean?
No.
So the stakes are not high enough, and they go so far on they really overindulge on the screenplay with regard to dialogue and just trying to squeeze every ounce of emotional payoff out of this movie as possible by really like trying to like hammer you over the head with like these interpersonal relationships, make all these character inner through line things like work with too much dialogue. There's no trusting the audience. They're like, we really need to make sure they understand everything that's coming. And so there's just a lot in the screenplay that is like so much filler and so much like spoon feeding and hand holding the audience along on this movie that's really not that complicated. And I think could have been shortened down if they had just used one of my favorite things in film, subtext, you know, like really just like distill it down to quick little glances at things, a knowing look, things like that, that could work. But instead they really overindulged on the edit. They overindulged on the dialogue. They overindulged on the story. It was too much. And so you end up with a 2.5 hour long movie where the last 30 minutes, because it's also a very predictable movie. The last 30 minutes are a crawl.
So like the race,
total crawl.
the race is about to start. You got a glimpse of what time it was on your watch, and you're like, "Oh no, there's still 30 minutes to go."
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those. So I mean, I think they're trying to build this for mass appeal, and ironically, in doing so, they overindulged so much that they're going to lose some of these like more casual movie fans because it's too long. Like I heard a lady outside the theater somebody goes, "What movie did you guys just see?" And she goes, F1. It's like a racing movie. I fell asleep. So I'm like, there's going to be some of that. And I hate that for them because it's otherwise a really good movie with great characters. And so like the story was there and the script was there, but the screenplay and script got too bogged down in the process, and it hurts it.
That's painful. You know what? I'm going to ask you a quick question. Just popped into my head. Don't tell me if there actually is this, but I want to know, is there like a catchphrase in this movie? Speaking of like tropes that not like, pedal to the metal that like, that like Brad Pitt and Carrie like share, or maybe it's between the camaraderie. Like it's like, I'll see you at the finish line, something very generic and cheesy. Did you feel any of that in this movie? Like 90s cliches is what I'm looking for.
Yeah. There's some of that.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's like necessarily like to the Top Gun level of like how they like have catchphrases and stuff like that. But there's some of that where it's like lots of callbacks to things that, everybody's getting behind, and it just kind of like gains momentum throughout. I don't know. There's a lot of that like cheesy 90s feel good type stuff that just, it doesn't work here the way that it did in Top Gun Maverick, because there's that nostalgia built into Top Gun that helped it so much, and they don't have that here.
And there's characters that you want to see where they were, where they're at now, and how their families have evolved. Right, this is our first look at Brad Pitt's F1 family. So
like, chill out on the like trying to play for emotions. Like they've got really great characters. They just overplayed their hand.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up here, Cam. I want to see your last looks at F1 the movie. Tell us your final thoughts and score for this spoiler-free review.
Yeah, it's a great summer movie. I think it's going to be really fun for people who are looking to get out and go to the movies. Maybe you don't do it very often. You go like a couple times a year, and you want to see something that is a feel good. It's something that is going to have a lot of different something that feels worthy of the theatrical experience with good sound and good visuals and all of that. It checks all of those boxes, and I think for that it's great. Um, it is definitely going to lose some people along the way just because it overindulges on all those things that I mentioned earlier, and it drags down the runtime, like makes it so much longer than it really needs to be. Um, but I mean, there's some really great characters here. There's some really great music. There's a lot to like about it, but they took it too far and they weren't discerning enough to make the movie punchier. And because it's not punchy and it's predictable, it makes it a real slog in the back third of the movie, which you can't have in a racing movie. It's got to be snappy. As much as I really didn't like the Gran Turismo movie that came out, I felt like they understood at least why people were there was to watch like the racing aspect, and they didn't bother as much with the like story interpersonal aspect. But I really do like these characters. I think they're super well written, and I think there's a lot of good stuff there. But overall, this is a good, not a great movie. I'm giving it a 7.2 out of 10.
7.2 out of 10. I mean, I feel like that's pretty good. That's pretty good for all of the slowness. You know me, like if momentum is killed, that thing it's going down. Like
yeah, the momentum is definitely killed, but I think for me, there's still enough like I mean, me, like story and characters, I like a lot, and I think the story and characters are good, so I can forgive like the overindulgence on the dialogue and stuff, because you're giving me good characters and good stories to kind of chew on, and the sequences of the racing make it all worthwhile. So yeah, it's low sevens, but it's like this is that for me is like a good score, not a great score.
Yeah. When you left the theater and you got it, did you drive?
I did.
When you got into your car, did you grip that wheel and did you just rev your engine in your Volkswagen? And did you?
Yeah, I was gonna say I drove a 2018 Volkswagen Tiguan, so it was hard to, convince myself that I was stepping into a Mercedes F1 vehicle.
You got to the first stoplight and your car auto stopped, right? It does the idle thing, and then the light went green, and all of a sudden you inched forward and it powered up. Did you gun it? Did you race anyone?
I did not. No.
Well, that's just upsetting.
I didn't do it. I'm sorry. I think I missed out on something there.
I guess your dad was in the passenger seat, so you probably didn't want to recklessly drive through the streets of
course,
St. Louis.
They want to get scolded.
Well, that's a fantastic score, a fantastic review, exclusive with Cam and here with Popcorn for Breakfast. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you get a chance to see it. Tell us what you think about it. If you're watching right now, you're watching us on YouTube. You might be catching our link on Facebook, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok. We're everywhere. So wherever you find us, even if it's on our website at popcorn4breakfast.com, that's popcorn4breakfast.com. We want to hear from you. Like, subscribe, comment. We're here for you. And thank you to Ryan Spriggs and the band Rhetoric for our music today. Thank you for St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings for our title sponsor, and all these cameras you see, it's all them. And thank you to viewers and listeners like you. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.